Hi, so today we're going to be doing some coloring. I'm going to show you how I get into my coloring for the more fancy portraits, I guess you could say. Similar to the portrait I made of Hell, I want to say that almost looks 3D-ish with how the shading is, so that's how I'm going to go into today. If this looks familiar, you probably have seen it on Twitter. This is what it used to look like. It was like kind of like a simple black and white, grayish kind of drawing. And then I was like, oh hey, you know what, I want to color it. So I actually did start coloring and I actually did get into the shading. Then I realized it's been a while since I did a video with you guys. So I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna stop here. I'm just gonna leave the flats and we're going to kind of go into the shading together. So, this could be the start of Curtis's, like, detailed, character reference sheet. Could be the start. I'm not 100% sure on that because I've been very lazy, if I'm being honest. But yeah, we're going to go straight into this. So when I do the coloring for the skin, I like to take into account the tones that they're supposed to have. Curtis is a very pale boy and he has, I want to say, pinkish undertones. So he normally has like some pink on his skin, and to be fair, I kind of do that with all my characters, and that's because I think the pink undertones are just super cute. You can have like green, blue, purple. You can have some whack undertones in your skin. But I would definitely say he's more on the pinkish side because of his pale pasty skin, whatever. So normally, for shading, I like to focus on the areas that are definitely being covered by something. So like his hair is in his face. So it goes something like this. And then of course we have to take into account where the light is coming from. Since the light is supposed to be coming from, let me just give a good reference. From, I want to say, like over here, from this corner, it's like going down on his face, on the left side of his face. The right side is going to be more shaded than the left. I'll just leave that there for a reference in case you're interested. So I will always make sure to shade this part of his nose, and then a little bit on the bridge, and of course underneath. You know what, it's funny, whenever I do the shading like this originally without blending, they kind of look like a dog or a cat, and that's because of the way that it's colored in. I just thought that was funny, and I want to share it with you guys, because now you guys can picture animals when you see them. Oops, that's erasing, that is not blending. My bad. And we're just gonna blend it around so it's not too harsh. Because this is supposed to be with a more softer tone, not necessarily the harsher shading yet. And like similar to what I did here, I want to keep this in mind, where some parts are highlighted on his face, and I don't mean where the white is. I'm talking about specifically like near like right here, this area, and here. Because he's supposed to have, you know what, it's really hard to explain because I'm not exactly a scientific person, but some people have puffy eyes. He doesn't necessarily have puffy eyes, but he has some eye bags, but they're just not like strong. I kind of like adding eye bags to all my characters, if I'm being honest. I just think it makes them look a little more human and lively. So now we're gonna go back into blending. Am I on the right layer? I am not on the right layer. That was his line layer. That was this layer. Oh, look at him. He's Slender Man. Anyway. We're gonna go ahead and blend this right here. So I'm actually gonna completely shade this part. I hope you guys can like obviously tell where I'm shading. Oh yeah, I should mention that I actually end up uh normally when I flat things, they're not all on one layer, they're normally on separate layers. But I actually decide to use his skin tone and his hair tone as well as the clothes on the same layer. So that reminds me, I'm going to have to just select his skin tone. And now I can go into shading properly. So I like to definitely use multiple tones too with when it comes to shading the skin, because we don't just have one tone in our skin, we do have multiple tones. Actually, let me use this as reference. Okay, I didn't go too crazy when it came to the dark shading, but like I said, the lighting is coming down at an angle. So some parts are definitely going to be harsher than others. Also, just to help, like, give him a more 3D look, I like to do a random, like, few lines here and there around the brows, because I think that enhances the idea that his face is not flat. I hope I'm making sense. I very rarely do these kinds of videos, and that's because normally my vocabulary is not very... I don't have a wide range, so I feel like I don't sound very fancy or eloquent enough to teach you guys anything, besides the fact that sometimes I just suck at art, so yeah. But I'm trying because I think this could be fun, and you guys might enjoy it too, and I think that's important. Oh shit, I forgot about that. I have a setting on, and sometimes when I move my pen, it kind of drags with it. Like when my pen is off the tablet, it drags. I tried my best to not make him smile, but there's just something about him where I always want to draw him smiling. And that's because I guess I think he has a nice smile. Like, he's my OC, so of course I think he has a nice smile, but he has like a bad boy nice smile. Like, he just looks like a total shithead, and in a way it's kind of cute. And also, I promise, like, growing up I was not into bad boys, but for some reason I seem to be into bad boys now, and that's not okay, because I'm 24. I shouldn't be into bad boys. You know, it's one thing in like your teen years, it's another thing in your adulthood. You know what, maybe it's because I never had the bad boy experience, so now I'm trying to make up for it. Anyway, let's not make this cringy, so let's just keep going into this. So definitely underneath the nose as well, you want to get a harsher shading because the nose sticks out from your face. It is probably one of the most... It's probably the part that sticks out the most, is what I'm trying to say, so the shading would be harsher and stronger. Just like, you know, like, underneath your brow line, it would also be kind of harsh. And that's because your brow line kind of covers your eyes. It also really depends on how big your eyes are. Some people have eyes that stick out very far from their skull, which I don't know how or why. I don't know the science behind that. I do tend to worry because I do often wonder if it's possible, you know, for their eyes to be more damaged by, I guess, natural causes as well as environmental causes. So, this is some of the shading. I also really like to make it very pink underneath here because once again, he has pink undertones. Also, side note, while I blend this out, I've been hugely debating trying to change my style again, and I know it's one of those things where when you see an artist like, oh, I want to change my style, it's like, oh, eye roll, because it's like, that's all we want to do. But I was basically telling my friend that I feel like I could do better, and I feel like one of the reasons that I don't do the best that I could is because I don't like the way my art looks, I don't like my style, I want something better than what I have. Just a second, I want to use this as reference. Okay. I was like, I don't really remember how I did his deck. So I was thinking about something like this, where I don't know if it's noticeable, but basically I actually used very soft line work. I did not do my harsh, strong lines. The only downside of doing things like this is that it takes much longer to ink, and since I'm already slow in terms of like everything when it comes to my art, I feel like that's a bad idea, and I don't want it to be something where I'm gonna regret and then want to change midway into the chapter. I think it's something I should work on and experiment with, or maybe I should try to get better control of my current pens and see if maybe it's something to do with how I use my line work. Because sometimes I think the harsher lines look nice, but I'm just most of the time unsatisfied with it, especially in my recent like work that I've been doing. So I just thought I'd let you guys know, give you a little update in case you do see any changes in the future. Obviously, I'll probably like let you know in like some sort of post, or normally in like the little comic note thing that I put in the Patreon pages. So this is where I would definitely struggle a little, because like I'm not a professional when it comes to shading. But I don't really know how the lighting would look on his neck. I'm assuming this part would be kind of lit. Lit. I don't know why I think that's funny. And this part would be more shaded. Also, if at any point you guys hear a doorbell ring and I just disappear, it's because the postman came. I scheduled a pickup, so... I mean, I'm probably gonna edit it out anyway, but if it sounds like I got interrupted by something, that's what happens. The neck area is always so fucking confusing to me. Also, I'm sorry for my language. It's like I'm actually kind of mentally frustrated right now because I just don't know how to do this part. Because I don't like to have it all like smoothly blended. I do think it's important to have some harsh lines, because I feel like that definitely makes it look more dynamic. Speaking of which, let me do that. It's okay. Another area that I'm a little confused on too would be this side of the nose. Like, technically this side of the nose should actually be getting light, but I'm not sure if that would look correct or attractive. Oh well, it looks fine for now. Alright, we're gonna work on different tones, so I'm gonna make another layer. And we're gonna work on a more like light pinker, I would say. Like, it's definitely more in the pinker side, but it's a lighter shade. So this would normally be the more like blush kind of thing. You know, it looks like he has a runny nose, or not a runny nose, but a cold or something going on. And he looks uwu. This is kind of like just the natural blush of the face. Like I said, he definitely has some red spots. You know, it just helps him look a little human, because we all have a little bit of red. Like, sometimes my cheeks are more rosy one day than the other. Sometimes my nose is rosy. I think that's probably allergies though. I'm definitely like, but the thing is that I am probably gonna put the eyeliner on him, so this part probably doesn't even matter. He definitely has like the more smoky eyeliner. He definitely doesn't like have a you know, a very fine cat line going on. Because, you know, I mean, there's nothing wrong with a guy using a cat line, but, I just don't picture Curtis, doing that. And obviously I got a what? I could definitely gotta add some, like, red to his lips. Because everyone has a little bit of red. It's just enough to make it, you know, have some color. You know, if you're always too worried that maybe there's too much color, you can always, you know, go around, erase it, and just blend it out a little bit more. Blend this. Okay. Now we're going to go into the more, harsher tones. So now I'm going to use a different brush that actually kind of blends as it goes, so I don't really need to do that. No, actually I want to grab Helle's portrait as kind of like a reference, because she has a good, like, I don't know, I was actually really proud of her portrait, and I just realized her face is covered halfway, so we can't really see it. She looks cute. She's so adorable. I love her, and her boobs look great. I don't really like her face here, but that's okay, because I was more focusing on her body anyway. Yeah, this doesn't look that great. I don't know why I was going to use this as reference. I had fun though. I think the shading in this one came out really well. I'm gonna do it like that, but I think I'm gonna blend this out just a little bit and also go back in and erase it at the same time. There we go. I think that looks fine. I really love doing like the hair shades because I feel like it makes it look so much more like realistic in a way. And then obviously we're gonna have to do around his neck area too. So it kind of naturally blends, but it leaves it still looking a little harsh, which is nice. And obviously do a harsher shading around his ears. What else could we do? That's the other one, which by the way I'm going to move around so I don't keep activating it. Just want to see something really quickly. I might not keep it. I don't know yet. I think it looks kind of cool because it has, like, once again, those harsher, more darker shades, and it kind of covers his face. And like I said, I feel like covering the face with shading actually makes it look more realistic because, you know, our face gets covered like that sometimes, depending on the angle. See, doesn't look really badass. Also, is it me, or does he kind of look like what's his face? If you know Superboy, I could be wrong, Superboy is the one who's like a young Superman. But he has a black shirt with the red Superman symbol on it. And if I'm correct, that kid was always kind of fucking moody in the comics, because I remember him being like kind of like a loner, like, oh, I'm too good for you. I'm basically like Superman, Batman kind of attitude. And this is like Curtis kind of reminds me of him, and I just think that's so funny. I could definitely see Curtis like dressing up as I think it's evil Superman who wears the black outfit with the white symbol. Just because Curtis would be like that. Hmm. Trying to figure out how to correctly do the shading and not completely like darken up his one face. Actually, let me just see. What would his one face look like if it was just darkened? It's not bad. Actually, I think doing it like this would kind of help too. Just like blending it out towards the edges, but making it harsher on the inside would help. Actually, no, I think making it harsher on the edges, but making it smooth on the inside looks better. Actually, because of the way that the lighting is hitting, I really don't know if his hair would get captured there. I think it would, but I don't think it'd be as long. So we're going to erase that just a little bit. Alright, not too bad. I think his nose would be more like this. Alright, I think that looks good. I'm kind of self-doubting myself. I'm self-doubting myself. I'm kind of doubting myself because it is hard to kind of know where each like shading area goes. I think I'm gonna go back to the pinker-ish stuff. I think I'm gonna try and like pink this area out. There we go. And then I'm just gonna blend it. Actually, I think that was a mistake. Oh, I don't know now. Because I'm having an issue with this right here. Like, I don't know if you can tell, this part is much lighter than the others. I think it's because of this layer. Let me mount this one on top. I don't know now. Okay, I'm gonna try and erase the best that I can. Okay, that's fine. Instead, let me use the other layer. And I'm just gonna go like this. And then I'm gonna try and blend this area out. There we go. I think that looks more like precise and concise, or I don't know words. I think that looks kind of nice. Alright, so now the next step to... Just a second. Alright, the next step to basically... Just another second. I want to see something. Alright, I'm gonna erase this right here. Now, the next step to this would be to give him some highlights. Which normally I like to do it on the same layer, but because his skin and hair are also on the same layer, I'm not going to. So instead I'm just gonna work on a different layer, which I think this is actually his natural skin tone. And I'm going to just use a lighter tone and just go in. See, it's making like a subtle difference, but it is making a difference. And that's what matters. And then just go in here too. And I'm just trying to blend it the best that I can so it doesn't look too harsh on the edges. Because I feel like when you lighten up the skin a bit, that's not something that needs to be harsh. It's the glowing parts that need to be harsh. And I'm going to show that in a second. Alright, so the glowing parts are the top layer. I always put that on top. So when it comes to the glowing parts, which is kind of like how his nose is right now, but I'm gonna fix it a little. And I also like to add it on the lips, but not too much on the lips. The glowing parts are just minor parts of the skin that shines a little. Like right here. I don't really think I would do too much on his nose, but I think I'm gonna do it right here. Actually, that's my first time, I think, shading that area on the nose. Not shading, but highlighting. But I think it looks nice, I think. I think it kind of makes sense because of where his, like, the light's coming from. Also, okay, this is the white layer. Just gonna blend it out like that way. Alright. I'm also gonna blend this out, and then I think I'm gonna erase pieces of it, because it gives it more of a lip shine. There we go. So it's not too much, especially because it's like, this is going to sound sexist, and I know some people are like, oh, you know, how you do your art for men shouldn't be different than how you do for your art for women. But I actually like to add more shine and blush onto the girls than the guys. I like to do minor shines and blushes on them. Because I just feel like it gives them a more masculine feel. So I'm just gonna cut this up like this. There we go. Actually, let me blend these two out. I think that's a little better. Yeah, that's a little better. Also, look quickly, I could be wrong. Okay. Here we go. I was like, I see a line, but I don't know if that's just my eyes playing tricks on me or not. So now I want to blend this out. And then make it a smaller one and just make it a little bit harsher. Okay. Because I like to make the thin lines harsher, but the bigger ones are blended out, because I think that is not as distracting. And I also like to do it around the eyes too, just to give a little bit of a glow. And also, while I'm at it, I can erase some of it right here. And then just blend the shading parts into the shading area, so there's a little bit of glow, just a little bit. He's a glowing boy. And then sometimes I like to do around the forehead, where it's like getting the light, but it's almost being shaded by his hair. And then go back in, make it a little harsher. You know, it's funny, even though I'm looking at it at a certain way on my tablet, I feel like it completely changes when people will look at it on their own devices, because the colors are then different. The saved rendered image is different because online it tends to get smushed down, so it just doesn't look as great. Okay, so for his highlights, I think that's actually pretty good. I don't think we need to do more for his highlights. So now we can work on his eyeliner. What is this, by the way? Okay, that's the highlight. Let me make it yellow so I know it's the highlight. So his eyeliner is obviously going to be black. Like I said, he kind of has more of a smoky eyeliner. Not necessarily a thick eyeliner. Or, I mean, a precise looking eyeliner kind of thing. It's funny, I think this is my first male character ever that will actually be having makeup. It's actually honestly kind of fun to do it too because it makes him look kind of cool. And it's like, I never thought guys looked cool with makeup, and now I'm like, maybe guys do look a little cool with makeup. I mean, I see like some goth men like do their makeup, but they kind of do it like crazy makeup where they make their skin all white, they put on the blue piercing contacts, and they like do the crazy eyeliner with like a kiss kind of look to it. Like, that's cool, but I'm talking about like subtle makeup, which is what he's doing, where he's like literally only putting on a bit of eyeliner and smoking it out. Yeah, it's funny, it's like, he looks like a guy who probably doesn't like really care that much, but we all know he probably actually puts a lot of effort in to making that smoky eyeliner look. Okay, I think that looks kind of good. Imagine if he had like black lipstick. Like, ooh, whoa. Oh, I'm not gonna lie, that's actually kind of like, not like that, but if I like smudged it out, I think it might actually look like kind of good. Yeah, wait, I got it, I know what to do. Now he's ooh. I don't know why I make fun of my own characters, I just do. Which, this reminds me, I actually have to put this in white. This is supposed to be just about the shading, and I fixed that. Okay, so I actually made more layers than I normally do. My layers are normally like compressed, and that's because I just think it looks better. It's also helps me stay more organized too. But we're not done here yet because this is supposed to be how I do portraits and make them look kind of cool. So now we're going to work on his eye color, and his eye color is obviously going to be yet another layer that's on top of the other layers. And I don't go for white. I actually try to go for more like an off-white yellow kind of thing, but in the darker area. And there is a reason for this. Ooh. There we go. That's much better. See, this is the one reason why I don't like this line art kind of style, because it messes up the... Like, there are no guidelines really for me to use, so I can color outside the lines without realizing, because this line art is kind of messy. I think I'm just gonna try and make an effort to put more details into my sketching, so maybe the line art will look better. So now I'm gonna lock the layer. I'm gonna grab a darker color, and I'm going to go ahead and do this. Oh no, was that not colored in? That might have not been colored in. I'll just shade it in like that. There we go. And here too, it looks like. There we go. Right, and I'm just gonna kind of like blend it out just a little bit. I don't want it to blend it out. Because once again, it's basically like the skin, it's another layer of shading. Alright, and now we're going to grab a much lighter color, but not completely white. And we're going to make this shine. Not really shine, but you know, we're going to white it up. So it looks more like an eye. And not like he's sick or he got eyeliner in his eyes. And then I like to grab another white, and I actually like to make it harsher. And then I just blend it out. And sometimes I build on it just until I get the like harshness that I want. And some people actually like to add some redness to the eyes, which is totally fine if you want to. I'm going to try and do that. This will be my first time doing it. Like this. And then just blend it out. It doesn't look bad. It definitely doesn't look bad, but I don't know if it really helps or not. I think I'm gonna try and add it more around here. Because it's closer to where, you know, I want to say your tear duct is. And really quickly, let me just extend this over here. There you go. I might do it where basically I just darken up the lines, if anything. I think I'll keep the redness. I think it looks kind of cool. Just a little bit cool. Not too cool, but it's just like, it doesn't make it bad, I think. And I'm going to do his eye color, which he has like very light eyes. So I've actually been doing eyes differently, which I don't know if anyone has noticed, where basically I actually don't put the pupil in. He already had the pupil in there because I like to give him a very piercing look, like he's... I don't know how to explain it, but basically there are some people who smile with their eyes. He doesn't. He always has a very cold stare. So that's why I normally always add his pupils already in, so it looks harsher and his stare looks cold. But we're still gonna try and use the way that I'm currently using. So let's just go into it. So we have the base, and just a second because I have to take a sip of water because my throat is burning right now. Apparently my microphone was actually picking up all of my gulps because I was looking at it record my voice and everything, and every time I swallowed, the green would go up into the yellow, and I was like, wow, oh my god. I don't know what that was. I think that was a truck, but it sounded like a whale passing by, and I was like, oh my god, there's a whale on Earth. Well, I mean, on Earth it is, but I mean on the ground. Anyway, we have his base blue eyes in there. So with his lighter shade, I'm going to do this, where it's down over here. I highlight the bottom area the most, and that's because his top area is normally covered by the brow line, so it would actually be the darkest. And you can like get as dark as you want. You can add in different colors if you want. Like him, I would like to say that he has strictly blue eyes. He does not have any additional colors in his eyes. Like Hell is supposed to have a mixture of some blue and some brown, but overall her eyes are very green. Which you can see here, I strictly used green, but I tried to add in darker shades of green too. Yeah, like here it's very vibrant. Overall, her eyes are very vibrant, which is actually supposed to be a witch thing. The like witches tend to have stronger shades of color in their eyes. It's supposed to kind of relate to how their property of magic influences their outside appearance. Like Myrna, she has very blue eyes. Evina has golden eyes. Hell has very green eyes. And even like Hazel, who is a side character, she has golden eyes, and that's because of her magical properties. Basically, everyone has awesome eyes. Because I don't know. I just didn't like that. I did notice that his pupil's a little messed up, so I'm gonna try and erase it. Ooh, no. Not like that. I'm trying to make it like rounder. Okay, that other pupil looks fine. So now we can go into his eyeball area, and we can blend it in, and this is just like the eye thing is just something that you can once again just keep adding or playing with. And if you ever like want to redo it, you can just put the base layer on top of everything and try again. I do that very often. And now we're gonna get a lighter shade, and we're gonna go into the highlight area. So that's too small. We're going to go do this. I honestly normally don't like doing this with his eyes because I feel like it ruins his cold stare. Like, if you look at him here, his eyes look fine and I think it looks awesome like this, but when I do it here, I don't like it. So instead, I'm going to go in with one of my pencils, which is going to be the line pencil, and I'm just going to do this instead. I'm going to try and blend it out on the edges. And once again, it's something that you can keep building up. See, I think that looks so much better. And to like add to the cold stare, you can grab white. You can grab a very harsh pencil and just add a little bit of white. Sometimes actually not having any white in the eyes like that makes the cold stare like even stronger. It's something I actually try to do with Hell. I try to give her a very cold stare because it's supposed to show her distaste towards like socialization, people in general, because of like her upbringing. So I always try to give her a cold stare, but when she looks at her friends or when she's happy, I try to add in that like little white shine into her eyes again. So here I'm not gonna leave the white. Actually just gonna leave the white on like the white part of the eyes. I forgot what it's called. So now we're going to go onto his hair, and his hair is probably one of my favorite parts because in a way it's kind of like the most simple part of him. I'm just gonna fix this right here, and of course this. Oh, that's right. This pencil is one that needs to... Oh, wait, no. There's something actually wrong with the color. Huh. I don't know why it's doing that. I don't know. Anyway. So, he has very dark hair. I don't know how to explain his hair. Basically, how I've been, like, doing it lately... I'm actually using the wrong brush. So I like to grab a very painterly kind of brush, and I like to go in with the highlights and just do like this. Oh, actually, that reminds me, I do need to lock onto his hair. Because if not, I'm going to get onto his skin, and that's going to be a mess that I don't really want to fix. So anyway, I just do it like this. And I've been going in like that, just painting it kind of. And making streaks here and there. And then I use the darker and I go in like this. I'm trying to start doing a more simple way of whatchamacallit, of coloring hair, because the hair is probably one of the most time consuming parts for me. And that's because I like the idea of making the hair look pretty, but it's not always practical. You know what? I'm gonna try something different. I'm gonna make his hair. Oh no, because it's a blending kind of tool. Okay, I'm gonna have to use this. I'm going to instead make it completely dark, and instead I'm going to actually use the painter tool to color in the highlighted area instead. I think that would work better. Okay. It is a little less time consuming, I will say that, because it is working more like how I need it to work. And then, obviously, this. I think it looks okay, except that I think what I need to do now is I need to lessen the hardness and go in like this. To make the kind of like the hairlines more prominent and more into pieces. I'm still kind of struggling though, so I'm thinking I'm gonna go in with black really quickly. And I'm going to softly shade around the top of his hair. And then I'm going to reduce it. And now I'm going to go in with this into the sections. And over here too. I swear, hair is such a process to color. And then just do it like this. I feel like technically the shading should be more up onto his scalp, like right here instead. Or not, yeah, I guess more to the center of his hair because of the way that the lighting is hitting. So I think that would be more correct. Now we're just gonna go in and do this. I think it's helping. Let me actually readjust how I want to do that. Ooh, no. Not so big like that. I'm trying to do it in streaks, because... Oh, fuck. I knew I shouldn't have done it on the same layer as the skin. Ugh. This is something to keep in mind for the future. Darken this up. Add very thin highlights throughout. And now we're going to use that tool that I like to use just to help blend it down. I think that's definitely working. And now I'm just going to go ahead and do like that. I'm gonna be a little harsher around here. I'm gonna give him some highlights like right at the edges. Now, if we want to just be, you know, a little fancy, we can just add a little bit of glow. Preferably on the parts that are actually bigger. There we go. I think that looks nice. Definitely helps, I think. Just to kind of separate his hair from his clothes, really quickly, let me just figure this out. I'm just gonna fill in these lines, like right here. Okay, so now, let me make sure where it is. Okay, this is it. I don't need it right here. So I can erase the white lines over here. And on his thing there. And now I'm gonna use my line tool. Just go in like this. And then like this. I think that like helps, that adds to it so that you can actually, you know, distinguish like where is, you know, what. And that's how I make the more fancy portrait, I guess. Let me just do that. There we go. So, I mean, it's not like the best thing ever, but in case you were curious, I hope I helped. You know, if you're learning or if you're trying to. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being a patron, and I hope you enjoyed this video. So, I might do one of Annie soon, so look forward to that. I'll see you later. Bye.